Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to use TweenService in Roblox Studio. Sorry it's been a while since I last posted a video. School has been starting up and my mic has also been acting up as well. But just know I've bought a new mic and it's on its way soon. But anyway, in this video, like I said, we're going to be working with TweenService. This is what TweenService can do. So if you want to learn something like that, just follow this tutorial. So as you saw, TweenService can smoothly move parts back and forth or up and down, or it can resize them, or they can rotate them. TweenService can do anything like that. And so to do that, of course, we'll need to add a script to the part. And to start, we need to get TweenService, which is just game TweenService. And now we'll need 3 variables to make this tween work. Firstly, we'll need the part, which is of course script.parent. Secondly, we'll need some tween info, which is just equal to tweeninfo.new. And lastly, we'll just need a local goal, which for now is just going to be curly brackets. We'll get back to this later. But for now, let's move on to tween info. So this is kind of all the settings that we want the tween to be. So if you just click inside of these brackets, there's a bunch of arguments here that we can give the tween. And so the first one is how long we want it to last in seconds. So for now, we'll just say we want it to go for 2 seconds. Secondly, and this is probably the most complicated one, even though it's not really complicated, we need the easing style. So if you do enum.easingstyle dot, we get a bunch of words. Maybe you don't know what these words are, but if you open the documentation for Roblox, you'll see that these are just graphs. So linear is just one point to the next, sine is it goes in, and it just follows these graphs. So T here is the time. So by the end here, it'll be where you want it to be. X is how much you want it to change. So quart here, until here, barely any change will happen, but then the change will kind of happen really fast. With exponential, that happens even more. So until about here, nothing really changes until it goes up here and it goes really fast. We've also got 3 kind of special ones down here. We've got back, which just overshoots it and goes back. We've got bounce, which as you can see bounces, and we've got elastic, which is blah, blah, blah. So for this example, we're just going to go with exponential just to show that off. So we're going to do exponential. And then enum.easing direction is the next one. So for this one, it's hard to explain. So out would be the normal, this is out, but in would be the exponential happening at the beginning. So it would be the reverse. And then in and out would just be both of them combined. So for this one, we're just going to do out. The repeat count, I'm not going to really set this to anything. I'm just going to have this as 0. But as you can see, if you set it to -1, it repeats forever. So just keep that in mind. Actually, you know what? I'll do -1. And reverses, yeah, we'll make it reverse. And delay time, I don't want any delay. Now, you actually don't need to have all of these filled out. At most, what I do personally is just these. Maybe I'll just do these 3, but it's usually just these 2. But just for this example, I'm going to use all of them. Now, goal. This is where it kind of gets more complicated, where you might need to know more Roblox Studio. So for goal, this is where we want the tween to end up. This is what we want to change. So basically, all we're doing with tween is any one of these properties, we're just changing them from one point to another. So say for position, we're just changing the position from one part to another, and then the tween just fills in those gaps. And we could do that with any one of these properties. So if you want transparency, if you want the transparency to change, just do transparent equal to 1. And now the transparency will fade and it'll fade into nothing. But for this example, we're just going to change the position. So position will be equal to, where do we want it to go? How about we just move it up? We're going to do part, position plus vector 3, new, 0, 4, 0. Now you don't need to have this. I'm just adding this so that the position will be equal to here and then just above it. If you really wanted to, you could just have position equal to vector 3 and have it just be these coordinates. But for my example, I want it to move just above itself. Now we actually need to create the tween. So local tween service gate. So now we need 3 of the variables that we created up here. Part. This is the object that we'll be changing the properties of down here. Secondly, we just need the tween info. Thirdly, we just need the goal. So we have everything set up now. We just need to play it. So if we do tween, on play. Now if you run it, you can see it moved up. And Yeah. You can also do other stuff. It doesn't have to be just the position. We can also change, like I said before, the transparency. We can make it so that it fades into nothing. As you can see, it's gone. Comes back and it's gone. It's a pretty cool effect. Tweens can be very cool if you do them right in your game, which is why they're such like a big part of polishing, say for example, your UI, or smoothly opening doors in games or elevators. But just tweens are so useful in any situation. I'm gonna change the easing style just because I want to show it off a little bit. So this is bounce. As you can see, it kind of bounces up and down just up here. Let's bounce. I'm also going to show off elastic. As you can see, it kind of snaps into place with some little wiggles, but all the other easing styles are just something like this. These three are the only ones that are really cool looking, but it's very useful to see what the graphs are so that you know what easing style you're using. If you're going to be repeating movements like in this tutorial that I showed, where it constantly keeps going and it reverses, you might want to do in and out for your easing style just so it doesn't look off. For example, this is what it would look like with just out. As you can see, it kind of just hits it and then goes back automatically, which isn't exactly satisfying. So in and out would just be the best pick. I'll change this to elastic too, just to really show it. So elastic is just very fast though. But yeah, if you want to change anything like the color as well, you can also do that. You can't change the material though, unfortunately. You can change the reflectance. You just have to type out the name, and it has to be exactly as it is in the properties tab. You also don't have to only tween parts. You can also tween things like the player's camera, which would have to be done from a local script. But I think that'll be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. Anyways, I'll see you baby turtles in the next video. See ya!